Part 2 of the Rooiberg Pass deals with the section from the 3rd to the 10th kilometer and covers the second half of the northern ascent as well as the summit section. If you intend driving this pass, it's important to watch Part 1 first, which includes the Google Earth orientation clips as well as other important tourism and safety information. The road now follows the central ridge very close to the steep drop-offs down into the waterkloof, which is on your right, and it's only 40 meters from the roadside. If you have a head for heights, you can stop at this point about 2.7 kilometers from the start and take a walk over to the edge of the gorge to enjoy the stunning scenery. The views cannot really be seen from the road, unfortunately. The road turns away from the gorge at the 3-kilometer point via a sharp 90-degree left-hand bend and heads southeast for 300 meters, where it kinks to the right and heads straight up the middle of the ridge, heading directly into the south. This is a long, fairly straight climb where the road can be seen for a fairly long way ahead. This section ends at the 4.2-kilometer point, where the road bends to the left and enters a wide double S-bend section, still climbing steadily at a gradient of 1 in 14. The fertile valley around Karlitstorp was once a lake with mainly alluvial soil. Agricultural crops are grown on either side of the two rivers, which are the Nel and the Gamka, up to around 1 kilometer on either side. Early writings show that the Khoi people called the valley Kanaland, which means the valley with no grass. The fourth hairpin is reached at the 4.7 kilometer mark, but this is the easiest of all of them with a wider turning arc. It swings through 150 degrees as the heading once more switches into the southeast. The next 1.3 kilometers has more bends as the road snakes its way upwards towards the summit, which is still not visible from this point. Evidence of early San and Khoi settlements are evident in numerous rock paintings found in the surrounding mountains. The position of many of these are kept guarded to protect them. In 1821, land was granted to J.J. and M.C. Karlitz, who named the area Buffels Vlei, which is a name derived from the local vegetation and the animals found there at the time. In 1853, the Karlitzes donated land for a church and a school to be built, as Oudtshoorn proved to be too far to travel for their monthly nachtmaal. Construction work on the Nels River Dam commenced in 1912. This dam wall was the first of many to be built in South Africa using concrete. Drought, the great flu epidemic, and the collapse of the ostrich feather industry played havoc on the fledgling community. The first cement road in South Africa was also completed around this time and runs between Karlitstorp and Oudtshoorn. The new R62 was built in 1978, and although changing the town drastically, has probably ensured its survival in terms of tourism. The summit plateau is reached at the 6.3 kilometer point, where a smaller track leads off to the left and is closed by a locked gate. Ignore the left-hand option and keep right on the main road, which bends sharply towards the right, taking the heading into the southwest. The gradient is much easier along this section, and the summit of 797 meters appears incongruously at the 6.7 kilometer point marked by a cattle grid. Due to the shape of the mountain and the width of the summit plateau, the views from this point are not nearly as good as from viewpoints lower along the pass on either side. The deep gorge, which can be seen lower down and to the left, is that carved out by the Gorge River. Soon another small track leads off to the right, which is a nature reserve management track. Continue straight on as the long and winding descent into the south begins. Most of the first half of the pass falls within the confines of the Gamkaberg Nature Reserve, and by driving on the pass, you automatically subject yourself to their rules and regulations, which for most pass travelers should be second nature, such as no fires, graffiti, littering, or removal of fauna or flora. If you look to your right into the west, you'll see a tall peak which is known as Tierboskop and has an altitude of 958 meters. Be sure to watch Part 3 of the Rooiberg Pass.